I, eternal child, always watched the passage of the rotting people and did not want to be inside them. I spoke and did not speak. I listened and wanted to hear them and see into them strongly and more strongly.
This is a poem of illustrator and painter Egon Schiele. His oeuvre is oftentimes described as both vigorous and erotic, but also grotesque and disturbing. Egon Schiele is considered the most central artist in Austrian Expressionism. Sources of inspiration: Schiele's formal training as a painter was done at the Academy der Bildenden Künste in Vienna 1906 to 1909, but he opposed the conservative art doctrine early on. Instead, he became interested in modern expressions such as Art Nouveau and Gustav Klimt's decorative symbolism. After the education was completed, Schiele turned away from his previous models and further developed this into a personal and distinct expressionist style. His characteristic style was particularly achieved by means of highly expressive use of line. Schiele was an excellent illustrator, and most of his paintings were also characterized by graphic. He had a thin but precise and clear line drawing that resulted in straight, sharp lines. The shapes and figures were often angular, elongated and twisted. In this way, Schiele continued the wavy and organic lines of Art Nouveau into a far more intense and restless expressive art. The predominance of angular and vertical in the past also indicated influence of the Gothic idiom. In the years 1910 to 1915, Schiele's work were characterized by dark and somewhat gloomy color palette. Various browns are particularly prominent, but also black and green. In some of his pictures, however, this is contrasted with elements of brighter and stronger colors, and the vibrating interplay between different shades and colors also help to intensify the power of expression. After 1915, Schiele used to a greater extent rounder and generally lighter color palette. Despite the fact that landscapes depictions were a significant part of Schiele's circle of motifs, he had, above all, attracted attention with his strong and bold depictions of people, including several self-portraits. Characteristics of Schiele's figures are their strange, exaggerated gestures and facial expressions, often in distorted poses, where there is not always a connection between facial expression and bodily movement. In this way, intense suffering and reckless ecstasy are often depicted in one and the same image. Typical of Expressionism, he went against the belief in the rational and portrayed man as governed by instincts, emotions, and the inner psyche. Schiele portrayed human nature as almost compulsively surrendered to sexuality, and many of his pictures show naked, masturbating women and men.
I am man. I love death and I love life.
His extreme sensitivity is evident in these emaciated fulgurations, where the author expresses his sense of belonging in the world and his explosive love for life, so empathic that it necessarily entails a proportionate love for death. Egon Schiele's career came to an end when he died of the Spanish flu in the autumn of 1918, just 28 years of age.